10:03 on the Fan. This is the Tiki and Tierney Show, and more importantly, or as important, Tiki, this is a chance for Major League Baseball to get it right. Now, you got to understand, to get it right, it requires guts, it requires leadership, it requires vision, something I'm not sure that baseball possesses, or maybe not enough of all those characteristics, maybe some. But this is finally a chance to delineate between what's real and what's not, and to have Aaron Judge's name featured prominently at the top of the single season mark rather than buried beneath a bunch of juice heads.
That's not going to happen because everybody still appreciates and loves the 73 home run season of Barry Bonds. It is the American League record. I mean,
I don't. What do you mean everybody?
But I appreciate it. Everybody marvels and remembers.
I don't. Not that I know.
You can't not remember it. That's the point. You can't not remember it. So are you going to push it aside?
I can't remember the day my college girlfriend dumped me. It doesn't mean that it was a good day.
Are you
it was the other way around, but
yeah,
right. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I heard you. I was Freudian.
Listen. Go ahead.
You can't not remember Barry Bonds in 73.
I'm not saying that I'm trying to. I'm trying to provide the proper context for the sport we care most about when it comes to the records.
How are they going to do it? By the way, that's not bury the lead. Congratulations,
awesome
Aaron
job,
Judge.
Mr. Judge.
Awesome Judge going yard. I love the Sterling broadcast was fantastic. Michael Kay did a good job as well. The Rangers guy, because there were Rangers fans actually cheering.
Oh, they were going bonkers.
They were going crazy.
Yep.
He just basically goes, history has landed in Arlington. And then he just laid out for 20 seconds.
He did. He was probably sat through this season with this trash. Thank God I've got something good to call here.
But my point to your my question to your point is, how does baseball make this the ultimate achievement when we already know in our minds, even we know they cheated, Barry and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and all the other ones. How do they make this stand above? What do they do? They just promote it more? They talk about it more? They cut in every single game that he had for the last 2 weeks?
A little heavy there.
Very heavy.
Listen, how do they do? I'm going to answer your question to my initial point with another point before I actually answer the question.
Go ahead.
So we've seen many times.
I'm a little confused, but that's all right. I'll just listen to you.
We've seen situations where people are unjustly put in jail, okay? Yes. And then for whatever reason, things come to light, evidence, right? Either contrary to or reinforcing a positive.
That's right.
And they are taken out of jail. Now, it doesn't give them back the 20 years they may have spent behind bars, but it actually gives them a new lease on life, and you're reacting to what you didn't know in the past. So what we didn't, and you're right, of course we enjoyed Bonds and McGwire and Sosa. And on many levels, Teak, and I've said this before, we were complicit. The commissioner was complicit. General managers were complicit. You can make the case that multiple Yankee championships were tainted because the guys were juicing. We all know this, right? We know this. But I am of the mindset when you are presented with new information, or information at this point that's not so new, but information or incredibly, even if it's not a factual, because Bonds never failed the test, but circumstantial evidence to the contrary of whatever, it is up to whomever to, I think, reassess how we view what happened. And I think the role of this commissioner, for the younger fans out there, for the people who are still a little confused, is it Bonds? Right, he did this. Is it Sosa? McGwire did this. Is it Judge, who's done nothing? At least we strongly surmise. It's the job of the commissioner, and you've heard this this statement before, the best interest of the game. In my opinion, no, listen, not everybody agrees with me. That's fine.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, in the best interest of baseball, you are placing more emphasis, more priority on something that was done the right way, rather than glorifying a bunch of cheats.
It's interesting that you said this, because as I was listening to you just lay that out, it made me think about what would happen, because baseball it's very regional, right? New Yorkers, we really care right now.
We always care, but I got you.
But I mean, we really care this season, because the Mets and the Yankees are both in the postseason. The Mets are having a resurgence. The Yankees are always here, but Aaron Judge is having this historic season. You go to other parts of the country, they're kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever.
About Judge or about baseball?
Baseball.
No,
Just
you're right.
baseball and Judge.
I think you're right.
It's all right. I mean,
St. Louis is a great pocket.
Right.
Chicago, San
Just
Francisco,
little
Boston, Philly.
intermittent
Not
pockets. There's not a ton that care.
Mm-hmm.
But if the commissioner would come out and like ignite a fire and say Barry Bonds' home run record, while it existed, it's not what we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate Aaron Judge's 62, the American League record, as the home run record. If he just said that, right, it would take a lot of guts because he's going to get fire from everywhere. It would take a lot of guts for him to do that. But if he did that, it would ignite, I think, a national conversation on that steroid era and
reignite.
Yes,
for maybe those who haven't participated.
Yeah, because
in it
for the longest time we just kind of don't care. You just accept it for what it is.
True.
Like you're not even thinking about it. You're like, yeah, he hit 73. Whatever. He cheated. Who cares?
Yeah, Sosa hit 66, hit
right.
60 a few times.
But if he would come out and say that, like do what you're espousing and say that, like specifically that, not like, hey, Aaron Judge did a great job. He hit 62 of the American League record.
He's a great ambassador for the game.
Like, but just said
he's the greatest home run hitter of all time.
We are going to recognize Aaron Judge's 62 American League record as the Major League Baseball record and asterisk the Barry Bonds record. That would create a national debate that would be talked about on every sports radio station across the country and maybe ignite baseball a little bit. So, I mean, to your point, there's a shot here for Major League Baseball to make themselves relevant even in places where people don't necessarily care that much about baseball. That's interesting.
I'm sorry, Teak, 877-337-6666. What a season. I mean, just an amazing season. And you run out of adjectives to describe it. I mean, how many times do you have to pick your jaw, not literally, but off the floor and stick it back to the top of your mouth and connect it? Because he does things that seem arcade-like, which is just mesmerizing. And obviously, we hope it's in a Yankee uniform for a long time. But, yeah, I mean, the thing about taking that bold of a stance, and I realize it's pretty bold at this point. There's no doubt. And as I started the show, as we started, I said a couple things about baseball, really the commissioner, but I used the entity of baseball, guts, leadership, and vision. And part of being a leader, a part of leadership is that you've got to be willing to take the heat in real time to make things better on the back end. And while I can wax poetic and theorize and give you philosophies on why baseball should do this on a radio show, the other issue is that even if baseball decided to do this, which for the record, I do not think that they will, because I don't think they've got the backbone to do this. I don't. I've said that many times. Even if they decided to do this, Rob Manfred is not the guy to do it.
Yeah, because he can't communicate it the right way.
And I'm not trying to diss the guy, but he's a great number two. He's a horrible communicator.
That's right. Because he can't communicate it the right way.
Correct.
But if he did do this, it would be obviously great for New York baseball and the Yankees and Aaron Judge, but it might be great for baseball as a whole because it re-energizes, this isn't a word, I don't think, visceralizes the situation.
Re-visceralizes.
But you know what I mean?
I know exactly
think
what you
about
mean,
how,
which doesn't say much for my intelligence.
I know, right? But
when
think about
word that doesn't exist, I know what it means.
But think about how like emotionally connected sports fans were around that debate.
Oh, dude, it was sick. I was just about to say it was the best thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I almost feel guilty saying that. But in real time, it was amazing. It was polarizing. It just overtook. I've got a briefcase, right? Think about this, a briefcase. Like when I first graduated college, I had a little briefcase. Well, in the late 90s, you have a briefcase. And in the briefcase, it's at my parents' home in Brooklyn, and I still have all the cutout articles from the Times, not that I read the Times now, but the New York Times about McGuire, about Sosa, about this chase, this epic, amazing home run chase. And it meant so much to me then. Now, it means nothing. I mean, I know where it is.
Yeah.
I'll probably open it at some point and show my kids.
It's a relic of history.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to be 40, 50, 60 years old, God willing, the actual articles, and that's cool in itself. But what does it mean? It represents something that's not authentic. And I'm not getting on the air and preaching and trying to denigrate Bonds unnecessarily, these other guys, because I've told Tiki a million times, if I was a ball player and it meant I would make $50 million more, I would have taken steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just coming clean with it.
Yeah.
Or if I thought I was a AAA player and I was 2 or 3 cycles away from getting a year or two or maybe getting vested and getting a pension, I would have done it. So this isn't about that. This is about the proper reorganization of history. And I don't mean American history. I mean baseball history where it's actually okay to do that. Like what we went through as a country, I'm not trying to get too deep here, but sometimes people try to bury things that I actually think we should keep up because it makes you better on the back end.
Yeah, because you know and can learn from negative history.
100%.
And because Aaron Judge, let's just face it, he is the perfect guy to be doing this, to be the face of baseball, to be this Herculean-like, humble, competitive, strong as an ox, just perfect icon for baseball, for sport in general, right? He's the perfect guy to be doing it. Sport needs more guys like him that excel, that look the part, like almost caricature the part. Like he's Casey at the bat, dude. Like seriously, that's who he is.
Yeah.
But he produces instead of not coming through. He has come through. Now ultimately, he's got to hit the home run in the World Series type of thing.
We'll get there.
To be
Let's enjoy
that
this. Don't worry.
iconic.
We'll get
But that's
there.
not where we are right now. Right now, we're talking about the record book and 62, the American League record, and doing something in the American League that hasn't been done.
All right. 877-337-6666 is our number. And kids, take stock. Instead of showboating when you hit a ball to the warning track, take stock the way he placed the bat on the ground and ran humbly around the bases. I'm all about a little showmanship here and there. Do your thing. Individuality's great, but he is a special one.